Hey guys, welcome to this section where I'm going to talk about the app Fal.ai. Fal.ai. And this site can look a little intimidating when you come here. It looks a little technical. Come in here, click on Explore. This is going to be the app that you're going to use to create your custom photo shoots, images of yourself. You can actually do a lot more than that. Essentially, what this tool allows you to do is to use a lot of the AI language models, video editors. You can use VO3 in here. You can use Nano Banana. You can use Sora. You can use all of these things. And, there's so many that I don't even use, audio models. This is really, really cool. It can be a little intimidating other than if you want to use this feature to create some custom images like I have done. And I'm going to show you what you can do with it and how to do it. I'm going to walk you through step by step, basically how to create photo shoots of yourself without having to have them done. It's not 100% perfect, but it actually does a pretty good job. And I'm going to walk you through that. Okay, so to get started, the very first thing that you're going to want to do is create a library of images, high quality images that you take of yourself, and label them a certain way so that the system is going to know that it's you. So I use the Ben Hat label. And if you go through, I basically 20 plus images of yourself, high quality, good background, good lighting, so that if you were to open it up, it's a high quality image and people can see you in them. Like the system can see you clearly. And the reason that you want to do this is because what we're going to do is we're going to train the Flux LoRA, which is the app that we're going to use to do this. Or in the Explorer, I want you to search for Flux training and you'll see the Flux LoRA fast training. I want you to click on this. And what you're going to do is you're going to upload all of those images as high quality as you can. They all need to be labeled with a similar format. So like I said, mine are all Ben Hat 1, Ben Hat 10. I did it with my hat because this is my brand. I wear my hat. I have a receding hairline. I took my pictures with my hat. You don't have to wear a hat. But if you're going to wear different styles, let's say, for example, you don't wear glasses sometimes and sometimes you do, you're going to want to do a photo shoot without your glasses and you're going to want to create a LoRA without the glasses, with the glasses. So for example, I actually have one that I trained without the hat, but I'm just going to use the hat as the example here. So what you're going to do is you're going to upload all of these images. You can upload as a zip file if you want, or you can add them one by one. But what you need to do is you need to give it a trigger word. And so this is what I did. I just did Ben EM, no spaces. I gave mine Ben EM, and I'm not going to do it. And then you hit start. And then what it's going to do, it's going to create a training history. And this is a really, really important thing. I can't remember where you find it, but anytime you go to Flux LoRA fast training, it should bring you back and you should see your training history as long as you're logged in. What you want to do here, once you get here, is you want to click on Run Inference. And that's going to automatically create this special path. Now, the prompt automatically has our keyword in it, okay? But this is not going to be the best. In order to get the best quality out there, you need a good prompt, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to have ChatGPT help me do this, okay? So I'm going to say, create an image prompt for character Ben EM sitting at his desk in his brightly lit home office. Okay, and it's going to create this image prompt, and I will just copy and paste that. Copy that. I'm going to come back over here, and there you go. I might even add if Ben EM with his EM hat on, because sometimes I notice it doesn't get me the best results if I don't add that. It's not going to be perfect, and you need to understand it's going to charge you about 0.035 per megapixel. Now, there's some additional settings that I recommend. The first one is number of inference steps. We'll leave it 28, 3.5. I'm going to bump mine up to 4 images. It's going to create 4 different images all at once here, which is going to cost a little bit of money, not a ton. So you can see I've added a balance up here. Remember when I said in one of the earlier lessons, you got to be careful with AI because you mess around with it too much and you're going to end up spending some money. So make sure this is something that you want to do. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to click run and I'm going to let it do its thing. And I'll be back once it's it's run. Okay, so it finished and it did a pretty good job, and it did, I'd say, about 50-50, okay? Kind of looks like me. You know, maybe a little thinner, it's got a nicer little tan, but that's pretty good. I'm gonna save that image. The hat's not perfect. This hat is completely wrong, so I wouldn't use that. This hat is completely wrong, so I wouldn't use that. That's pretty darn close to how I look in real life. That's pretty cool. Let's do another one just to mess around. Let's do create an image prompt for character Ben EM. That's my trigger word, okay? Speaking on stage in a bright, I'm telling it to do bright conference center with thousands of people in the crowd. Sometimes if you don't use the bright, it can be a little dark and hard to see, okay? I'm not sure, we'll see. The more detailed you make the prompt, the better. I'm gonna do Ben EM with his EM hat on. Speaking on stage in a large, bright conference center, powerful stage lighting illuminates him from above and behind. A massive audience fills the room. Let's see what it does, okay? Okay, this is terrible, right? So like none of these are good. I don't think I clarified that I wanted showing my face. Speaking on stage, let's try it again. Again, those cost, that's costing me money every time. You see my balance is going down every time I run this. So you got to be prepared if you want to create images to lose some money. It still didn't do a very good job. That's not terrible, but it's definitely not what I would use. So it's probably more of a prompt issue. And I'll show you what I mean. If you don't give it a good prompt, let's just say a high quality. Let's see what that does. Okay, not too bad. The hats are all wrong, but it's kind of looks like me a little bit. That's not too bad. I don't love the hat. Unfortunately, the hat is wrong. Otherwise, I would keep it. That one doesn't quite look like me, but I think you get the idea. This is pretty cool. Okay. I think probably the best thing to do, instead of continuing on like I am, I think every time you go to do a new set of images, come back to the beginning and click run inference again. I just find that it gets better results. Let's try it again. So let's do, all right. Let's see if we can get an image of Ben EM walking down the street in New York. Okay. And this time I'm going to leave the hat off. I'm going to run the inference. Okay. And we go to additional settings. By the way, I forgot you can change the image size if you want. I think the default is a 1:1. I'm not entirely sure, but let's do 4 images, everything else the same. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it didn't put a hat on me. Some of these I'm bald. It doesn't look like me much at all. This was a complete failure. Okay, so Ben EM with his EM hat on. Let's try it again. Yeah, that was bad. And this is AI, right? It's going to do the best it can, but you saw some of those earlier ones. It's pretty darn accurate. And, for the cost, it doesn't cost that much money at all. It does a pretty good job. Okay, much better, right? Much better. In fact, I'll save that. That looks so good. Not the greatest, not the best hat. Doesn't quite look like me. A little bit better. The hat's accurate. I don't know what my fingers are doing. Sorta. Right? A little bit different. So not bad. So you get the idea. All right. And this is Flux LoRA and it's pretty cool. Now you could also do, some other stuff with this, and I'm not going to get into it a whole lot, but you can spend a lot of time in this. The Fal.ai is a really, really cool tool. I have not even begun to explore the potential of what all of these things can do. The nice thing about this is you don't have to pay a monthly fee to a third-party company or another, via Google Gemini in order to use this system. You're paying obviously Fal.ai per usage, okay? But same thing with Sora. You don't need a Sora account to do this. You don't need Gemini to use Nano Banana. You can use Fal.ai for all of this stuff. But like I said, I'm going to caution you again, be very careful because that balance can go down very, very quickly. But this is a powerful tool. So let me give you some use cases that you can use this for. Your own personal photo shoots for sure. But I have taken, photo shoots that my clients have done of themselves and I have uploaded them because sometimes I need my clients, if I'm going to run an ad or, I need something for a funnel, or I want them in a specific situation. They didn't have that in their original photo shoot. That's where that text to image from the Flux LoRA training, once you've trained it, so you could create a Flux LoRA for your client. And I've done that. And it works really, really well. Of course, get your client's permission before you do that, obviously. But really powerful tool, one of my favorite tools, and I would highly recommend it. Mess around with it. I'd love for you to come in and drop, some of the things that you've tried. Drop them in the community. I'd love to see, what you guys are working on, what you're doing. If you're having any troubles, let me know. I'm sure we're going to do a future masterclass or training on this to cover, because I know a lot of people are interested in how to use this more effectively. But that's how I use it. It's very cool, and I love it. Hopefully that's useful to you. I will see you in the next lesson.